guys, it's Sam, and this is my spoilery discussion for The Bronze Beasts by Roshani Chokshi and the series as a whole. As I said, this video will have spoilers in it, so if you haven't read this book, I will link my spoiler-free review on the screen. I don't have a ton to say about this, honestly, as far as like spoilery discussions. I did want to talk about a little bit of like the character stuff here though. I really like how this series has characters that all fit together really well and are all friends and have all these like interesting dynamics among them, but also does like flashbacks and things really well in a way that fleshes out the characters and doesn't feel too info dumpy or anything. I felt like every character really got a good arc and resolution. Maybe the only one who didn't change a ton would possibly be Hypnos, because we didn't get Hypnos' POV at all. But overall, everyone else I felt like was so good. And I feel like Hypnos even had a place too as like the comedic relief a little bit. But everyone really like coming into their own while also being such a good part of the group. It becomes so evident even in this one, like how much they all are like have an important part to play. Like Severin is the one that puts all the pieces together, and Enrique is the one that has all the history, and he comes really into his own and like learns to be more of a leader in this book. And Layla with like her abilities and kind of keeping everyone together and being almost like motherly to all of them. Zofia with all of her like science-y prowess and things while also being very like blunt. And then Hypnos again is like the sort of comedic relief, but also being like supportive and like, you know, just sometimes working things out without even really knowing. I just liked all of that. You know, Zofia found again more of her independence and not feeling like such a burden, opened herself up to love. Layla stopped fearing death and feeling like she wasn't a complete person, and even like her resolution. Severin finally realized, although it took him a very long time, that like you don't need to be a god, but they all came to understand why he was seeking that out. He came to understand why he was wrong in doing that. They all just kind of want to protect each other. Like, so sweet. Like I mentioned in my review, the antagonists I think are the weakest point. Ava and then Ruslan, and just like the Fallen House overall just is very like blah. I will say like I wanted to like the Fallen House more because it gets revealed that like they conquered death, right? They're kind of like necromancers, and I'm like, that's so cool. It's my favorite thing, but just very underutilized. Ava just felt like she was in there because they needed some kind of like blood forger or whatever in the second book and then carrying over into this book. She just felt like very flat. Ruslan as just being like sort of the crazy, you know, leader of this house that wants to take everything down and like be a god. Again, kind of one note. I did like some of the references to other things. It seemed like the moment when they, at the end, when like Ruslan's like face like melts off, that was very Indiana Jones, Raiders of the Lost Ark. Like that was very much that, and I like those kinds of references because I feel like this took some inspiration from some of those pieces of media, while also updating it and making it newer. Like they say at the end that they're trying to like return a lot of these artifacts to where they belong and the cultures they belong to and things like that. As far as the end, it doesn't ruin the series for me in any way. However, first, the thing that doesn't ruin it at all. Did Zofia, Hypnos, and Enrique almost end up as like a poly-triad at the end? Did you get that vibe? I wouldn't say that Hypnos and Zofia are together at all because he is, does it say that Hypnos is actually like gay? I don't think they say he's bi. I think he's like actually, I don't actually remember because I feel like they referenced that more in the first book. But they almost feel like they're all kind of together because it says that like they end up like being together and sort of staying together the rest of their lives, even if it's just like sort of as friends, and then Zofia and Enrique are together. I think that's very cute. I really like their whole little like triad thing going on. However, the epilogue, so Layla turning into like sort of this goddess, I loved that actually, like her being the perfect fit for being this like go-between or whatever. But the fact that it's like, oh, I have to stay around to help out the temple while forging is sort of undone. The fact that it took 100 years, no, there's like no implication that like these forged objects lasted that long, so it just kind of seems like way too long. And so us having this entire epilogue where everyone else dies, Severin stays the same age, just waiting around for Layla, like I just feel like that's too long. I just feel like that's too long for people who are teenagers to then him be like 100 something and waiting for her the whole time and he has like no other loves or anything. Really? Like I like them. I like them together. Could you have done 1 year, 5 years, so that she gets to see all of her other friends again? Not just Severin? Like that just felt a little bit like, that chipped away a little bit at the found family thing for me, because it makes it so much more about like them, and like she was important to all of them and they were all important to her and not just Severin. And so having this like 100-year thing where he's waiting for her, while very romantic in theory, I didn't actually like. But again, I didn't really look at the epilogue as like part of this. like, to me, it's almost like it ended at, like, I don't know, I would change it in my head. Like, I know it doesn't end because I would want Layla to be back with them, but like, I didn't love that. But overall, loved most of this. Had a really good time with this. Very interested to see what Roshani Chokshi does in the future. And yeah, comment below, let me know some of your thoughts on some of the things, character things, all of that. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see all of you guys soon. Bye.